Hey everybody on YouTube. Um, Decided to make a quick lighting video here. Um, as much as I say that I love fluorescent lights and HIDs and so forth, I will admit that LEDs are superior when it comes to temperature. These T12 lights, one of them is using the original Rapid Start magnetic ballast from I don't know, 80s, 70s, who knows. When this barn was built in the 40s, I don't know how old the lights are. But the other one is using a more modern electronic ballast that I got in Lowe's because the original magnetic was only working for one light. And I just wanted to show you guys that these lights suck in the winter. Now, in my prior videos, you saw me using a lux meter to show you the measurement of light output. And I mentioned that these lights put out, I believe it was 450 lux. The bulbs are 60 watt GE bulbs that claim they're 5900 lumens. So two of these bulbs are 11,800 lumens. And these two are Lithonia LED shop lights. They are, I guess, two 4-foot lights kind of built into each other. And they advertise, I can't remember offhand, I think it's 8,900 lumens. Now, the T12s should be brighter than the LEDs, but they're not. And I mentioned that on a previous video. Now, I called GE about this, and I actually talked to a woman for like over an hour on the phone, asking her, well, how is GE claiming 5,900 lumens per bulb? Even if you take the mean lumens, let's say the mean lumens is 4,800, it still should be as bright as the LED, but it's not. So she went on to explain to me that, of course, we know that light bulbs put out light 360 degrees around the entire bulb, and I guess GE measures the lumen output for the entire diameter of the bulb, to where the LED is pointing downward, and that's why the LED is brighter than the T12. However, I don't necessarily believe that, because if that were the truth, I would say about 70% of this light is the bulbs are beaming light out. So you got light out over here, you got light out this way, you got light down. So if that were the case, then how come it's still darker on the sides and it's way brighter for the LED on the sides? Again, the LEDs are pointing down, but look how bright that is. See how bright the wall is and how darker it is over here? So I don't necessarily believe that. So I think GE is kind of inflating their lux, or sorry, their lumen output. But the whole point of the video was to show you guys, these lights have been on for about an hour now, and as you can see, it looks bright enough on video, right? Well, let me adjust it for what it actually looks like. So this is kind of what it looks like. Let me lock this in. If I can figure out how to lock this. There. This is kind of what it looks like in my shop right now. As you can see, it is way brighter where the LEDs are. I can see much more detail against my Jeep. And then when I get over here, it's much darker. The workbench is darker. The ground is darker. The color temperature on the GE bulb claims to be, crap, I forgot. But the color temperature is exactly the same as the Lithonia light. However, this is definitely a lot more yellowish, and the Lithonia LED is more whitish. So I don't think the color temperature is correct on these GE bulbs as well. Now, I just finished installing, these have been installed for about a year now, but I never wired them up. These were my kitchen lights, because I replaced the kitchen lights from these ugly standard, shop type / kitchen lights, to, more fancy lights for the house. And I installed these onto the workbench area because it's just too dark to work right here. And if you guys notice, I cleaned my workbench, so it's nice and clean. Everything is organized. And for now, there's no ground on this switch because it's an older extension cord cable end. I need to go to Lowe's and get a proper one. But I'm actually going to wire these lights from the light switch over here. I'm going to add an additional 14 gauge wire, or 12 gauge wire, because it's actually 12 gauge. And I'm going to run a light switch on the outside of the drywall right here to flip on the workbench lights. But here they are plugged in, and it is amazing. So LED does have its place. I'm not going to lie. I do use LED lights. I just don't like them for outdoor lighting. So, but yeah, my workbench is lit up now. I can actually see when I'm working. However, again, the walls are still kind of dark, and they're much brighter over here. The ground is still, it's dark down here. It's much brighter down there. You can see how it's, you know, white and then kind of a yellowish over here. So I'm not sure what to do. And as a matter of fact, you can actually see it's been on for an hour. Let me adjust the brightness now. You see how it's still pulsing? They don't like 30, 20 degrees. Right now it's actually 40, so it should be a little brighter than it actually is, and they shouldn't be pulsing like this. That's actually the electronic one. The magnetic is right here. The magnetic is not pulsing nearly as much as the electronic, so I'm not sure if the magnetic ballast is a better ballast than the electronic, or I'm not sure. So for extra lighting, these are the ceiling fans from the prior house, or from inside the house, and in the summertime it gets a little warm in the garage, so I need ceiling fans. And I decided to put this one over top of the engine bay because, look, I mean, I got so much more light, so I can work on, you know, the engine and stuff like that. So these lights, combined with the T12s and the workbench lighting, it does, interestingly enough, it actually seems to equal. See how the lighting pattern, the color is equal now. So it seems these T12s are just vastly inferior. To be honest, what I'm thinking of doing is taking the T12s and moving them into the back and putting the LEDs in the front. Because, I mean, when you work on a car, you work mostly on the engine bay. And if you're working in the back, you're going to be underneath it, and that's what, like, you know, a light like this would be for, or a, you know, and I have an LED light like one of these, you know, like one of these lights right here. So, yeah, I'm thinking of swapping the bulbs, or swapping the lights out. I do have two more T12 fixtures over here. They are using those older magnetic ballasts that I was talking about. Here's the ballast. It's a advanced rapid start magnetic ballast. The original bulbs that were in here were the 110 watt, and these are the 60 watt. And ironically, the 110 watt actually has less lumen output than the 60 watt. And that was another thing I was asking the lady from GE. How does a 60 watt bulb have more lumens than a 110 watt high output bulb, or more? She was telling me it's the color temperature that changes. So when you put the phosphors in the tubes, it changes the color temperature, but it can also drop the lumen output. So if you want a brighter white, you know, kind of like the LEDs up here, you're going to sacrifice lumen output. I don't know if that's true. That's what she was telling me, but I'm not going to be putting 110 watts in here. That's just too much. So that's 440 watts just for these. And I mean, the lumen output's not going to be the same. Of course, the color temperature will improve, and it'll probably, you know, help as far as visibility goes, but it still doesn't increase the lux. So anyway, not sure what to do with these fixtures. They need to be repaired. They need new ballast. They need new bulbs. I'm thinking of actually putting them in the center of the garage, because all I have in the center is these 4 lights. So those are just glass utility lights. They do light it up enough. I know it's a mess in here, but we just kind of throw our crap in here. They do light it up enough, but it could be better. But for now, it works. But I'm actually thinking of hanging them, like one here and one there, to kind of light this room up a little bit better. But yeah, what do you guys think I should do? Should I move the LEDs forward so I can get more brightness on the engine bay and move the T12s back? Or should I leave it there and just buy another LED shop light and maybe put it across here directly below the workbench, and it would be kind of directly below the engine bay, and I would have so much more light if I do that, but of course that costs money. So but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you think. Thank you.